education, your technology and various other fields. That's absolutely wonderful, but you got to, I think, while doing that, also make sure that a reasonable attention is paid in this direction. I'll leave it at that. More than that, I will not like to talk on this subject. Now, how have we done? I think India as a country has come a long, long way. Now, I noted down few statistics. In 1947, an average Indian lived for 26 years. That's why we were only just about 30 billion in population. And the literacy rate was 14%. And our people below poverty line comprise 3/4 of our population. In last 65 years, our life expectancy has risen to 65 years. 2/3 of our population is literate and our people below poverty line are somewhere between 30 to 35%. We are the only country in the world which has gone through 3 big revolutions. Green revolution, white revolution and now the IT revolution. I think we are the biggest IT knowledge and the related country in the world, and we are doing the maximum business in this particular direction. As a matter of fact, your TCS is the biggest company in this particular direction in the world. But our basic path remains that we have to make sure that in the next 15 to 20 years, we make sure that the poverty at this population percentage of 30 to 35% comes out of the poverty line. That is our first and primary task, and that is very important because the economy must have an equitable balance in growth. So what should be the road ahead for us? As far as possible, we must have a peaceful periphery. It goes without saying, and we must continue to develop our relations and also continue to invest very heavily in our neighbors, in our immediate neighborhood and as far as possible in the extended neighborhood. It's very important. If you don't invest, we are the biggest country in our own area besides China, and it is very important for us with the kind of economic potential that we have got, that we invest in our immediate neighborhood and get them also out of this morass of poverty and put them on the path to growth. And that will help them and that will help us. Ensure availability of essential resources is another important part, and in that, of course, it can only happen if you are part of the entire global system. Internal developments like the infrastructure, now look at this. China is almost investing 50% of their total GDP on the infrastructure building. Those of you who had the opportunity to visit China, you would have seen the way they have developed their infrastructure. And within the country and now of course along the borders also. On our side of the border, they have a very beautiful and well developed infrastructure. Of course it is not meant entirely for growth or the prosperity of Tibet, it is meant for the other nefarious purposes also. And of course, I have once again, at the cost of repetition, but because the subject warrants emphasis, I will repeat that we must also continue to take care of our defense potential so that no country in the world ever is in a position to interrupt or disrupt our process of growth. So ladies and gentlemen, I think in conclusion what I would like to say that India as a state has proved itself and proved its maturity. Our leadership has moved on the path, our chosen path, and our country has moved on the chosen path with deliberation and conviction, and of course with a lot of internal debate within the country. And we must continue to develop our international relations and also enhance our state capacity. Our growth as a great economic power in due course is inevitable. And if we have to emerge, and which we shall emerge as a great global power, we've also got to ensure that along with that we carry a lot of responsibility And India must be a responsible and global power, which we have continued to show all the maturity and sincerity and goodwill for the rest of the world in this till now. And I'm sure we shall continue on that path so far. So we have a great future. We need very creative leadership. We need a lot of sacrifices by the citizens of the country, by the people of the country. And I'm sure that our future is there for the making. Thank you.
If I were asked under what sky the human mind has most fully developed, some of its choicest gifts, has most deeply pondered on the greatest problems of life and has found solution, I should point to India, were the words of Max Muller. With these words, I would request Mr. Ajit Kumar Doval to give a keynote address. Thank you.
General Rich, one of the most distinguished generals who has led the Indian Army. I had the great privilege and honor of being in service at the same time, and he was a very distinguished colleague. He has covered a very wide canvas, which leaves very little for me to add. But I'll come to that little later. Principal Sandhi, who's been, I must compliment him for the initiative. The college, which is now shifted to the new building, also must